Hello, welcome to Tranquil Dialogue, our very first pilot episode.
Yay!
I'm Jen.
I'm Atel.
And Tranquil Dialogue is where peaceful, candid, and entertaining conversations take place in a safe space. Atel, what is Tranquil Dialogue all about?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Jen and I, your host of Tranquil Dialogue, is super excited to be talking to you about beautiful things related to life, family, and relationships. But this first season in particular, we're focusing on well-being and relationships. We have so much to share. We're super excited to share with you guys, but not just us and about our experiences, but also we have special guests coming in to share with you what life is about, how they've experienced things, what challenges they've faced, and how they're overcoming those challenges. It's really all about peaceful, tranquil discussions in this little space right here.
Yes.
So today, Jen would introduce our first ever two guests.
We have Nicole and Matt.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It feels nice to be the first guest.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. How do you feel, Mark?
I'm the first as well. So I'm sorry, it's the first. I'm proud of it.
We're
First
setting
one,
the
yes,
tone.
yes, yeah, that's right. Set
That
the
makes you
record.
special, seated
Set the
among
record.
3 women.
Is it your first time here? Sorry, on a podcast?
Yes and no.
Oh, okay.
I did have a cute little podcast of mine some time back.
Oh, nice. What was it
That was fun.
about?
Organized Chaos. It's called Organized Chaos. And that was just vibes. It was myself and a friend of mine, and we're just yapping about, again, everything life. Going about it, relationships.
How did I miss that?
I know, right?
Is it on Spotify?
No, it's on Spotify.
You guys
We
check
have
that out.
to
check
Organized
that
Chaos,
out.
right?
Yes,
Organized
we stopped
with an
it
S?
though, unfortunate. Organized with an S, yeah.
Oh, you
Life
stopped
got
it,
on the
but it's
way.
still there, right? Or did
It's
you
still there.
take
The
that?
episodes are still there. I think it's probably about 20 episodes out still.
Oh, that's beautiful.
yeah.
That's a long. How long ago was that?
Oh, God, that would have been what, over a year ago now? Since the last
Oh,
episode?
that's not so long.
No.
Oh, that's
no.
beautiful.
But
Well
it was
then.
nice. Yeah.
So it's not your first.
Yeah.
20 episodes later.
Right.
Definitely not. You're a pro, so we'll be getting some tips from
I
you.
know, right?
At the end of this, we're doing. Just let us know how
Yeah.
to make it better for us later on.
You guys
That's
are doing great
beautiful.
already, so.
Assistant producer of the show.
Yeah,
There
you
you
know,
go.
got a new role.
Assistant
Thanks.
producer.
Promoted on the spot. Wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
it.
that's
So apart from that, what do you do?
I do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I am an entrepreneur. I have a business, and I am a student as well. And I also work in a few family businesses. So I
Busy
put
life.
put my hands in too many pots.
Organized chaos.
Organized
That's
chaos.
exactly my life.
Clearly.
That's it.
What's going on in Kenya? I do know, but
Quite a bit is going on in Kenya. If you haven't heard about it yet, we are currently protesting against. It started as a protest against our financial bill that was getting passed through in Parliament, and then it's turned into a further protest against our government. Essentially, there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of unfairness going on for the common citizen of the country. So
people want him to leave, right?
we
Whoever the
do.
current president
We
is.
do. And the best thing about it is the people who are actually leading the revolution are young people. These are like
Yeah.
Gen
That's good.
Zs. And it's so inspiring to see,
good.
especially as an African country. We're all kind of used to being under,
Yeah.
We're undervalued, I think. Yeah,
are.
we're not respected. Our ideas are not
No,
really
I think
brought
also
to the
like with
table.
our governments back home, it's more, they say there's democracy, but it's more of a dictatorship. sort of thing.
100%.
Yeah.
And I find it really liberating to see the young people in Kenya like just come together and say enough is enough.
Yeah.
And and also being backed up by people like you here, you know, so they know that they got your support.
It's really good to see. It was good to see even Kenyans across the diaspora.
Yeah.
Kenyans were out protesting. We had our own Adelaide protest here. So yeah, we're sending solidarity and change is happening. I mean, the whole cabinet was fired the other week, so we're making moves.
Big moves. That's big moves. Oh wow, that's good.
That's really good.
It's really, really
Do you
good.
have family there?
Yeah, my nuclear family, so my parents and my siblings are here, but obviously my extended family is still over there. So you still have some
They're
roots.
safe?
Everybody's
fine?
safe,
Yeah,
everybody's
that's
fine, thank God. Like some lives have been lost, unfortunately, throughout. It's sad to see all around. It's young
Yeah.
people, you know, doing peaceful protests. They shouldn't have been to be killed.
Yeah.
People have been kidnapped, that kind of thing. But yeah,
Fighting for basic
fighting for
human rights.
basic
Yeah.
rights.
How
It's-
unfortunate.
I know.
Mark, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Who is
Yeah.
Mark Bope?
Just being an adult out there, trying to live life, and Yeah, trying to fit into the society, trying to help the society, and trying to contribute the best I can. Yeah, that's
it.
who
That's
I
great.
am.
How
Yeah.
do you try to help the society?
How do I try to help the society?
I'm the same. I'm just trying to be an adult.
Yeah,
We're trying our best.
We're all
just
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to be adults because we're
Yeah.
told we have to be adults at some point.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Well, my way of doing that is I contribute quite heavily. I'm part of a church community, which has a number of young people. So I dedicate every Sunday, everything I do as part of my sort of investment into the young people. Well, someone can say, well, it's religion, but yes, but religion is important as well. And some of the culture we learn from the church, the things we learn from the church, they're also important for young people. Those values they learn from the church or from the Bible, they're really good for them growing up.
Yeah.
So that I can say that's my way of contributing to the community.
I think
Yeah.
religion gives hope.
Yeah, it does.
People
Yeah.
need hope. Like
Yeah.
the way things are
100%.
going, the inflation, the
Yeah.
economy, just life in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah,
We need something to hold on. I
We
need
need something to hold on to. We also need something to look forward to as
That's
well.
it, yeah.
And doing that with young people, and a lot of them are confused as well because like they go to the shops and things are getting expensive.
Yeah.
And they log online. They're trying to make sense of what is the inflation, and there's stress and anxiety kicking in for all these young people, or even for adults as well, or young adult like myself. And you ask yourself, what do I do? Maybe, but God should be what I can run to. I've hoped that things will get better.
Yeah.
So we do that daily, and we do that on a Sunday, and I'm part of that.
Do you hold any role in the church?
Yeah. So I help out in ministry. I know most of you want me to say
you
pastor. Most of you want me to say.
You spit it out. Just
Do you do it every Sunday? That's the question.
So I have a so I have a degree in theology.
Okay.
And I like to help out in ministry. I consider myself a preacher because I love communicating the word.
Right.
But in terms of pastoral ministry, and I have to put it out there, it's not an easy thing. It's a very distinct role which should be valued, and it's very important. So if I ever become a pastor, I would say I'm on a journey to learn how to lead.
Okay.
And personally, I'm not there yet. So,
But you're a
but
good leader. You say you
but-
have young people.
yeah,
to work with.
so I'm on a journey leading to that. Honestly,
Take on the bigger responsibility.
eventually maybe, but for now I'm more focused on if I can communicate the word, then I'm focusing on that right now. So that's sort of what I do. Yeah.
That's good.
So Mark, where are you from originally?
Well, I'm from the Congo, and I've been here in Australia. It's been about 14 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Do you call Australia home?
I do. I call Australia home. Australia is my second home. Congo will always be my first home because it's where my lovely umbilical cord is buried.
That's a strong enough tie.
That's right.
It's so strong.
Because that's how our parents always connected. Like my mom, my grandmother would always sing when I was little. When I was with my grandmother, when she puts us together with all my cousins, I'm sure you guys are Africans.
Yeah.
Our grandmothers will always have songs they sing.
Yeah.
These are traditional songs,
Yeah.
and in those songs they'll mention all their grandchildren. And then one of the prideful thing they'll mention, they'll say, always remember where your umbilical cord is buried. It's buried on this land. So wherever you go to, you have some
In
tie.
Africa, they bury umbilical cords, right?
I think it varies.
It varies where it depends where you're born, depends what your
We don't
tradition
know
is.
it, yeah.
But some places they throw it away.
pretty neat.
But even if they throw it away,
I don't think we do.
but even if they throw it away, it's where your umbilical cord, like it's where things went to, like that's your connection to.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like that way of
Yeah.
viewing
yeah,
things.
yeah.
I
So
like that.
it's,
Never thought of that.
I like that.
What was life like growing up, either back home and then when you migrated here to Adelaide, Australia?
completely different. Completely different. I mean, I'll be honest, my parents, or all our parents always want what's best for their children.
Yeah.
So I was very young. I was young when I came here. So I always believed that my parents were trying to find a good place to raise their children. So they brought us here. And they brought us here. And then what's left for us is to make the best.
So before coming to Australia, did
Yeah.
you go to any other country?
I did. I did. So I've moved around maybe I would say 3 countries in Africa.
Wow.
But before I came to Australia, I lived in a place called Zambia. And apologies to any Zambian out there. I don't speak any of the languages.
They'll claim you soon.
I need the passport.
So true.
Yeah. But no, I lived there for a bit and then came to Australia. So I migrated to Australia through Zambia and came here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful. And what has life been like here
In Australia,
since you moved here?
yeah, I would say it's been a fight. It's been a fight in a sense that it's like someone you get someone just unplucks you from one spot and then thrust you into a culture that's moving really fast. And then it's like I got thrust into a place where I didn't grow up here. I didn't know the genesis of a lot of things that are happening in Australia. And it's like you get dropped in the middle of a conversation. You're like, oh, wait, what were you guys talking about? Oh, great.
So where do we start
That's
from?
right, where do I start from? Yeah. So I came here as a young teenager and then straight away went to high school. And a lot of the time you have to try to understand inside jokes, trying to understand all the things that are happening in
slang.
school.
Slang, the accent to begin with.
We're still struggling with.
But yeah, so it's been a fight, obviously trying to make a life, also trying to understand what your identity is and what role you're playing in this society.
How does that make you feel? Has it been obviously not a smooth ride, but an
Yeah.
enjoyable experience, or?
Every experience is good experience for me. Obviously, in hindsight, we all say that.
I know. Not while it's
in
happening.
hindsight.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been, I wouldn't say enjoyable, but when you obviously look back, you say, well, this was beneficial or this was important. But it's been a good experience. I would say I'll use good. It's been a good experience. Obviously, there's been some goods and there's been some bad things, and there've been things that you learn from, and you tell yourself, "Oh, I'm going to do better." But yeah, it's
Focus on the positive.
And Nicole, we know you've told us about your busy lifestyle, and earlier on, speaking to you, you said you create peace, you create your own peace. How do you do that?
For me, it's actually, I'm in a learning journey for it at the moment. I think for a big part of my life, being kind of like the firstborn daughter of like a migrant family, you're put in a position where you're catering to a lot of other people. It's always you're looking out for somebody else, you're looking out for your parents, you're looking out for younger siblings, you're looking out for, everybody has to be good. You know, you're kind of like the assimilating factor for a lot of things. So now moving away from that, I'm trying to set my life in a way that my life is, first of all, for me.
Yeah, that's good.
And then everything else follows. So I'm at that weird stage of trying to learn, okay, it's okay to create time for myself. It's okay to call Sundays Nicole Day. My phone is off. You can't reach me, I'm sorry.
Airplane mode.
Airplane mode, that's exactly what it is. Or D&D, you know?
Yeah.
And kind of making everybody in my life aware of that. And not everybody receives that really well. Not everybody appreciates the kind of boundaries that you set for yourself.
True.
All the time, because it doesn't benefit them. A lot
Yeah.
of the times. People want your time, people want to be in your space consistently.
Yeah.
Friends want to be with you. People expect you to be present, but it's so important for me in finding to just create pockets of moments where I'm just existing for myself, whether it's me just spending time alone, I'm in my house enjoying my rent with these rental prices.
We have to.
Don't get me started on that.
So you both live
Relatable.
alone on your own?
I made the conscious choice to move out at 22.
Why was that? To create your own peace,
Just
of
for my own
course,
space.
but
Just for my own space. that was the first step. Getting that physical space
Yeah.
for myself was the first, and then just building that space, decorating my house for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of African homes, though, like that's a no-no.
Yeah.
You don't. I'm Nigerian. You don't move out until the day you get married.
married,
Then you
yeah.
pack up your
Yeah.
bags.
I am.
Although my
so
parents
glad.
weren't fully like that. So how did your parents take it, and how was it in your
I am
household?
so
your
glad that
family?
my parents, it was a conversation that obviously happened a lot of different
Yeah.
times,
Back and
right?
forth.
It was a lot of back and forth, but I am so glad that my parents kind of understood it. And my first sale was, it's gonna be like a little holiday home for the kids. So if you guys want to break with the
can
kids,
come
you can come
over.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They bought it?
They did, and every so often, like school holidays were just here. I had my siblings
Yeah.
over for like 2 days. There you
Oh,
go.
2
It's a little
days.
respite. Yeah, that's enough.
That's a good start.
But yeah, that was a nice little selling point. But yeah, I had to advocate
Yeah.
for it, and it's
Yeah.
been really great, not just for myself, but for our relationship as
With
well.
the parents, yeah.
with
But
my
how did
parents,
you
my
like?
family.
How do you find peace? Because you mentioned that you're the firstborn in the family. That's something you and I share. I'm
think
the
three of
firstborn.
us.
Oh, we're all the
yeah?
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you the
Jen.
first in your family?
No.
Oh, you're so lucky. Like,
I'm the last born.
You're the oh,
Must be nice.
you're
I
the
can say that
baby.
I'm the
Cool,
firstborn in many ways.
Yeah. But then like there's something like from your part, like there's something, how do you manage peace when it comes to the fact that you're the firstborn and there's such high expectation on you? You are the leader of everything.
Yeah.
You've got to set the tone.
You gotta set the tone, and everything is you. And also, you talked about how you prioritize your time, you cut off your phone. I'm like, how do you do that being the firstborn? Because
Boundaries.
Yeah.
Just first of all, communicate the boundaries.
Yeah.
That's always the first thing. When you're talking to somebody, like what I'm saying to say my mom, let's say, look, I'm going to take the Sunday off. I'm not going to be reachable. I am taking it because I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
This is for me, and this is how it benefits
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So as somebody who cares about me, you should understand that and should
Yeah.
accept that. It's not because of malice. It's not
Yeah.
because I don't want to spend time with you. It's
No.
not because I don't want to be present for you. It's not
Yeah.
because I want to shirk my duties as the firstborn daughter. I know
Yeah.
those exist. I'm going to come back to them tomorrow.
Nah.
It's a
One of the
tussle.
things that I have
Yeah.
to say, Nicole, your relationship with your mom
It's great.
Great.
I know. I am so blessed, let me tell you. And I count my blessings every day. Being my mother's daughter is the first.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. We've built a really, really good relationship. And that's come over time. And
Yeah.
it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
But we both operate very similar in the sense that we seek to understand people.
Yeah.
So it works really well for the both of us in that. So when it comes to each other, we're very supportive of each other. We're
Yeah.
very protective of each other. So it works out really
That's
well.
good.
We're,
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I think to sort of answer your question,
Yeah.
as the firstborn, my mom, I don't know if other people experience this. Everything is happening in the household. At hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents are fighting. I don't know. I'm not in your love story. Why on earth
Yep.
are you ringing me to tell me your dad or
Setting
your
up
mom?
my own.
Like, you know, I have my own issues. The last
Exactly.
one, how you sort that out. Usually, naturally, I don't let things bring me down.
Yeah.
But the last one, I think this is probably a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
My mom and sister, they're on a 3-way call on WhatsApp. We're
Yeah.
chatting. Oh, we're calling about your brother, our
Yep.
youngest one. Oh, he's done this. What do you think we should do?
Yep.
I'm like, you guys, my child is really cold. We're outside. I'm about to go buy a jacket. I trust you
There
two
you go.
can figure it out without me. And I hung up, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
So and they know me. Like, I don't
Yeah.
carry people's problems. I don't think about it twice. Well, I'm
Yeah.
not you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, talk to your brother. I'll talk to him. 6
Yeah.
months later, don't worry, mommy, I'll talk to
I'll
him.
text you.
And then eventually I call it and I'm like, oh, mommy says
Yeah.
you have to do this. Or when it was my sister's turn, mommy says, okay, all right. And then that's it. But it's hard.
It's hard.
But
Not
you know what? It's not
Yeah.
my problem. You want? I'll speak to you, but it's
Yeah,
up
yeah.
to you what happens then. I've done my job. That's
Yeah.
it.
One of my uncles, when I was young, one of my uncles said to me, that's my mom's older brother. He said to me that I was 10 years old. I was 10 years, and by the way, I've got 5 siblings. They're all boys. I'm the eldest. Thanks for the sympathy. But
Must be nice.
oh, you're right. I like the sarcasm. I love the sarcasm. But the thing is, he said to me that you are the prime minister of this family. So there's the president, the vice president, and you are the prime minister, meaning that a lot of the things that are happening in this family, you'll be exposed to it. And I was like, yeah, great, that's fine.
Not knowing what that
But
is.
until I had to experience it, like you say,
You really are
they'll-
a third parent.
so you're the third parent. So they will call you about everything. My mom will talk about the house. Some of the things you don't want to know. Like you don't want to know your parents are struggling financially.
Yeah.
You actually just want to believe your parents are billionaires, but they're hiding it.
All our dreams.
Exactly.
I'm waiting for the inheritance.
But exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what the little brothers are thinking, that, oh, our parents are wealthy. But that's not what I'm thinking, because I know the reality, and because mom will tell you all about it. Mom will tell you, we're struggling with this. I'm like, no, I don't need to know
I think
this.
it also gets a lot more magnified when your family is away from the rest of the family, like being migrants as well. I remember when we first came, I was the person who was you're doing the cross communication, because you're the one who's out in the community, and then you're kind of bringing back home those Australian learnings, and being like, this is what's done, this is how it's done.
How old were you?
I was 12 when we came.
How was that? Did you see it as a responsibility or burden? Because I do research with young people, and that's one of the stories we hear quite a bit.
It comes so naturally, you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
It just happens.
It does.
And then you start relying on each other quite a bit, and
It
that
does.
reliance really, really builds over time. So
Yep.
now you're a part of financial decisions. You're a part of where are we going to be living, what are we going to be doing. But I'm just a child.
You're part of the decision making.
You're part of the decision-making process. I was telling somebody,
Yeah.
I'm at a point where I haven't had kids yet, and I honestly, I hate to say this out loud, but I don't know if I want to, just simply because I feel like I've done parenting,
Yeah.
and I don't romanticize
I think a
it.
lot of African firstborns.
Yeah,
Look,
like
my
I raised
young-
kids.
My second brother has a child, and my second brother is 28. Sorry if I get your age wrong. I think he's 28, and he's got a baby. They had a baby this year, and I'm not married yet. And mom is like, "What's going on?" But like one thing she doesn't understand is the fact that I've been traumatized by the experience of raising these children. And then she's telling me, I need you to give
My
me children. And then
I need a grandchild.
exactly. But then I'm like, you have no idea I've been raising your children. I've been contributing to raising your children. You have no idea. And I say that to her, but I can say it to anyone else. Other people will be like, oh, come on, man, you're exaggerating. No. I've been exposed. I had the front row seat to how these kids being raised.
In their defense, to be honest, because I was the same. But now I'm a mother, trust me. When you have yours, it's different. You think you raised your siblings.
Yeah.
You did half or one quarter of raising your siblings. Even though we're there, like you did everything for them. Your parents were gone probably 20 hours
The
of the day.
experience is
It's
different.
different.
It's different,
Trust me. The stress is going to be more than triple. So if you were traumatized, you don't want to, please don't do it.
I look forward to
Yeah.
getting there and experiencing it. Thanks for the
so
heads
that's
up.
good. Sorry.
I love it.
Thanks for that.
I think I'm a lot more exposed to the reality of it now. I'm like,
Yeah.
do I really want to? It's
Yeah.
It's rewarding.
Yeah.
It's a joyful thing to do, to watch I think carrying, even if you don't carry, but just seeing someone grow from like a little seed.
Little seed,
Like a tree. We moved houses about 5-6 years ago, and then now the trees that they planted, now seeing them blossom, I'm like, oh my goodness. So it's really nice to see that. Knowing you're a part of that growth, you contributed.
I know.
It's really
very rewarding.
It's beautiful,
How has your upbringing contributed to who you are today?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. It has big time. So my upbringing and I would say my upbringing also the things around me and the places I've lived definitely have contributed a lot. I credit my mother for putting me in church. First thing I was young, introducing me to Christianity. I really credit my mother for doing that because it truly has kept me out of trouble. That's one of the things from my upbringing that's now guiding the rest of my life. I don't have my mother calling me to tell me what to do. now she's at least put guardrails around me to help me, guide me going forward in life. So it has definitely taught me. I've learned to keep my peace. I've learned to keep my tranquility and peace from what I have seen around me. So my parents they are very good at keeping peace, and I have learned things from that by watching how they keep their peace and how they handle trials and tribulations or quarrels and problems and all sorts of things. I learned from that.
And are you
Yeah.
still maintaining the culture?
Am I still maintaining culture? Oh,
Is it still possible to maintain? You're talking about culture from his upbringing when he was back
Yeah.
home, right?
Yeah. I'll
Or are you
I'd-
maintaining both?
Am I maintaining? I would say no. I'm not maintaining it. I'm not maintaining it, but I'm creating my own culture.
Okay.
I'm creating my own culture
As you should.
that helps me accommodate everyone. Because what I learned from my other culture is it could be a bit excluding, or it could be a bit. Yeah, I would say sometimes not too welcoming. Yeah,
Excluding in which way?
excluding in a sense that each to their own. We stay with our own things, or we're better than them.
Yeah, it's very divisive.
We're better than them. Like things like, okay.
They are not like
This
us.
is, I'm not saying this is what my culture exactly does, but a lot of the ethnic groups
Yeah.
would say things like, oh, those black people. Oh, that's a white people thing. So those type of things. But then growing up, you realize that I'm actually living in a world that's so diverse. So I need to learn to create a culture that would actually accommodate everyone that has a good character. Not everyone who has a good skin color that I like,
100%.
but everyone who actually has a good sense of humor that I like. So yeah,
That's beautiful.
that's
Nicole, same question to you.
How does my upbringing affect my current life?
So if you could share a bit about,
You
your
could
story.
Yeah.
When you were young.
It was a very, like, my upbringing was quite dynamic. So I've kind of lived in a place where I was like my parents' guinea pig, you know? So we were there during, like, you know, that little fresh.
try
So
experiment.
I've lived in that space where obviously parents were starting off. So
Yeah.
I've not a lot of access to resources and everything, and I've been
Yeah.
there throughout the transition. So I've lived in both worlds, and the most takeaway that I can always get from it is just gratitude.
Yeah.
I live my life now just grateful, even just for the fact that I'm breathing.
Yeah.
But just to have everything that I do have, to have the freedom that I do
Yeah.
have, that's huge. And freedom is really, really big for me.
Absolutely.
So just simply just gratitude. I am so, so grateful for a lot of things. And I try to see ways that I can give back beyond me. And what you said there, Mark, about looking beyond just what makes other people different, that's so, so heavy, because we come from that culture where because we're so ingrained in who we are, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
That identity is amazing. But a lot of the times we look at other people and we say, well, you're not like me, so surely we can't get along. When really, even just us sitting here, you're from Nigeria, you're from Congo, you're from Uganda, I'm from Kenya.
Yeah.
We're from such different places,
places,
right?
yeah,
If we
yeah.
start breaking down, and then we go to those countries, then you start breaking down tribes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
They're
so,
like,
so
they're
different.
like, our food is better
Our
than your
food is
food.
better than
Yeah.
yours. Our
No,
jollof is
by the
better.
way,
Our
it's
gali
actually,
is
no, but
better.
that's actually good. No. Our
We don't
food
have
is
to
actually
argue
good.
anything.
Oh, well,
There's
excuse
no
me.
conversation.
Yeah, no, our food.
We don't know who
On
and
the
what
on
wears
record,
better.
our food. Where's your producer? Your producer's here. Would agree to this. Our food is better.
Ugandan food?
Congolese food on top.
A lot of people haven't heard the word Uganda before.
Stop.
Whoa, whoa, okay. Fine. No.
My co-host, I love you.
You guys will need to talk about after this.
We're
Have a
neighbors.
conversation.
Don't worry.
Everyone goes their separate
Episode 1, we're done.
There's no more comment.
There's no more coming.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, little things like that. And then we all come here and we can
Yeah.
all kind of integrate like this. So
Yeah.
why does it stop just within the Africanness of it?
That's
you know
right,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like we can spread it beyond. And I'm unlearning that to
Yeah.
relearn how to be a lot more accepting, just look
Yeah.
beyond cultural
Yeah.
differences. But yeah,
I
gratitude
think a lot of us
definitely.
are trying to unlearn and then relearn because we're not necessarily very proud or happy of how our parents have raised us in a
us.
way. We have to an extent,
Yeah.
but again, there are other values that we don't necessarily
There's certain
agree
things,
with.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where we're
Yeah.
coming from,
Yeah.
based on again the environment
The
we
environment
live
we're
in
in,
and
yeah.
the future we want for ourselves.
That's right.
You know, want
Yeah.
to see a sustainable environment.
Yeah.
We want gender equity. There's so much
Yeah.
more that we're looking
Yeah.
for. And I think as women, you mentioned earlier, freedom is key for us. Respect is very important to us,
Absolutely.
man or
Yeah.
woman or whoever you identify as. So
Yeah.
I think that's the future we want, and it's
Yeah.
really important that
Yeah.
we create that for ourselves through peace,
100%.
Yeah.
creating peace for ourselves.
So we have one question that that we will ask all our guests.
Yeah.
What brings you peace?
I'm coming to learn that all the peace I need is within me.
Ooh, that's great.
The minute that I can come back to myself,
Yeah.
I've got peace.
That's good.
It's also, and even just, I know a lot of people are scared about being by themselves because there's so much, we are normally kind of our biggest hater
Yeah.
sometimes.
Biggest critic.
Biggest critic, biggest
Yeah, yeah,
enemy.
yeah.
But it's also learning that I'm merely just, my thoughts go through my head, right? But that they're just that thoughts. Like my thoughts are not me. I'm
That's
just
it.
the thinker of my thoughts.
Yeah.
That's it. They're merely just
That's
a
it.
vessel kind of just, going through. And a lot
Yeah.
of them are really not that important.
Yeah.
And what is important, you get to choose.
Yeah. So
True.
who's your
Kinda hold it.
secondary peace?
My mother.
Okay.
Oof.
There
My
we
mother.
go.
Oh.
There we go.
What does she do that gives you peace? Because not
Yeah.
a lot of young people would say their mother
Yeah.
gives them
Yeah.
peace. It's more, yeah.
She nags
When
you.
it comes to feeling safe,
Yeah.
she is the one person who has always made me feel safe and loved. And that has never changed. I've
Yeah.
never had to question that. And again, I'm so grateful for that because I know the stories of a lot of people are so different.
We actually need to understand why peace is important. That's a question. That's a question we should always start with. Like, why is peace so important? Like, what is peace? Why is peace so important? I know of certain people that actually feel uncomfortable being peaceful.
Really?
Yeah.
That
Yeah, no. I know people who feel uncomfortable being peaceful and
In what
they
way?
thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
Look, okay, let's put this on record. I've dated
Yeah.
someone who said to me that it's been 2 weeks we've been peaceful. I need to start
Something is
I need to
fishy.
start a I need to start a fight. Yeah.
Really?
No, legit. She said I asked her what did we have to have this argument? Yeah, because it's been really quiet lately.
2 weeks?
It's been quiet. So for some
that's
people,
a reality
yeah.
for a lot of people.
Yeah. So, and there are people who live in toxic environment that just think it's okay, and so I left that relationship and trying to get into another relationship where, after a month of really things going really well, I just try to be really childish and toxic, just to start a conversation, an argument. See that trend? So it's like, it's like a contamination. Like
Yeah.
and then there are people walking around that way. It's just like, oh, we've gone 2 weeks without having any fight. You just need to have a stupid argument because it makes some people thrive in negativity. They just want to have,
They want to have something to fix.
they want to have conflicts
I
to
think the
live with.
psychology to it is
Yeah.
really just because that's what has been considered their normal for a lot of time.
Yeah.
People come up from like different households.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
You don't know what
They
someone's
upbringing as well
brought
plays
up
into
in.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like what I said before is like we need to understand why peace is important because peace is really important. Like it's really important for our body, our immune system, everything. It's really important. So and then when you tell someone that you need peace, for some people they feel like you're insulting them. You know? Or they feel like you're telling them to change or to be a better person. No. Peace is really important for you. Like peace is really important for your mind, for your growth, just everything in your system, in around you. But for me, peace starts within me. Like that's where peace starts. Like Nicole said, like I am the person who works hard for my peace. Like I don't expect anyone to bring peace to me. It's gotta start. It's gotta start with me. One of my favorite Bible scripture says that a house divided cannot stand.
Yeah.
So it's like when things are divided in you, there's no way you're gonna stand. And guess what? People are so divided within themselves when there's no peace, they actually go and cause chaos in other people's lives. Because I just can't live with peace by myself. So I'm just gonna go into your life and create chaos because I want you to feel how I feel.
Yeah.
I want you to feel agitated. I want you to hate yourself like I hate myself.
Misery needs company.
Exactly.
word.
Attract like
Exactly that. So for me, I always try to start with myself. Start myself by, let me create peace. Let me turn off what's making noises.
Exactly.
Because sometimes peace can just be noises. Sometimes. So sometimes peace can just be as little as noises in you. Like sometimes the voice in you can be so loud that it's
100%.
agitating you. Sometimes could be a noise of insecurity, a noise of self-doubt or fear or anxiety, all sorts of things. For me, I usually just turn it in me. Instead of blaming someone else, saying, "Oh, you're in my life, you're causing so much trouble." No, I actually turn to myself and be like, okay, hang on. Why am I feeling like this? Am I at peace? You know, am I okay with myself? I started learning that a lot. There was a day we had a massive blackout in Adelaide. We've had a few blackouts, and then when there's a blackout, people freak out because
Yeah.
you have nothing to turn to.
You even go outside, you're like, let me check my neighbor's house.
Yeah, and you even find out there's a full moon because there's a blackout.
Yeah.
There's a blackout. But that was one day there was a blackout, and then I had nothing to turn to. My phone was flat, so there was no internet.
Tough times. First world problems, rather.
And that's when I realized I had so much noises in me because I could literally just sit by myself and listen to all the things I've been taking in, all the noises in me. So for me, I believe by a house that's divided cannot stand.
Yeah.
So I need to unite myself in, cool down everything so I can actually stand. And yeah, so that's sort of how peace starts with me.
Even when it comes to other people, we said
Yeah.
that just before, I do this thing where I take stock now of how I feel after I interact with somebody else.
That's
Yeah.
good.
And that determines
Yeah.
how frequent you're going to have access to me, how
Yeah.
frequently you're going to have access to me.
Ooh, that's big. Yeah.
If I need to charge up a social battery to be around you,
Yeah.
you sing me once a year. You're not considered someone who
Yeah.
is close to me. You're not considered somebody who will get
Yeah.
access to me consistently. Because that people drain you.
Exactly.
You can be
Absolutely.
as peaceful
They
as you
drain.
want to be, but people have their own things
Yeah.
going on, and a lot of people
Yeah.
tend to take away from you.
Yes.
And if you're around people who don't fill up your cup, essentially,
Yeah.
you're still giving away. So
Absolutely.
whatever work you're doing within yourself is useless at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So always taking stock. I'll go
Yeah.
back home after I hang out with somebody. I go back home and journal. How am I feeling?
How am I feeling? Yeah.
Yeah, feeling refilled, feeling fulfilled,
Yeah.
feeling a bit low. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
What they just dumping on me? You have friends in your life whose entire job is just to trauma dump.
Yep.
You sit down. Okay, so this
Yeah.
man, and then this and this happened. And let me tell you, girl, let me tell you.
Yeah, drama. Yeah.
People exist like that.
Yeah.
And obviously everybody needs somebody and everyone needs someone to vent to. But
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that's all that person is coming to you for, and they're not doing the same for you, they're not accessible to you when you need them, or you bring
Yeah.
something to them, it's quickly turns into a them problem again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, your little thing that you're going
pouring
through.
and pouring
Yes.
and
You're
pouring, yeah.
You're
and
giving,
pouring, but
giving,
you're not
giving,
you're not
nothing
receiving
back.
anything
People
back.
like
Yeah.
that don't need to be in your life.
Yeah.
They can be.
Yeah.
And you can understand why people people exist in like a duality, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a reason why people are the way they are, and you can understand it, but you don't have to accept it, and you
Yeah.
don't have to have access to you.
I made a decision to not watch certain things because I realized certain things were just making me angry. Certain reporters were making me angry. But how do I find peace in all of that? I read a scripture today. I was preaching today. It's found in Matthew chapter 6 where it talks. Jesus says that your eyes are the windows to your body.
Body, yeah.
And a lot of the things we watch, a lot of the things we listen to is what brings chaos in our bodies, in our hearts. So I realized, I was like, I'm actually affecting myself, because the more I'm watching these things, they're making me angry, they're making me sad and all of that. It actually affects me, my heart, and all that will also overflow through into my relationships with other people.
Well, thank you so much for taking your time and
Yeah.
being our first guests.
Yes, what an honor. Thank you.